friends, I'm standing in the diamond heart center of perhaps the most glorious valley on earth, the Nubra Valley, part of the splendor that is Ladakh. I first came to Ladakh when I was 29. I was a fellow of All Souls, Oxford. I felt completely trapped in the West. I didn't have any expectations, but when I arrived, I knew that I was in a completely new, magical, holy place. And in the center of that magical, new, holy place, I met a man who was a living Buddha, Tukse Rinpoche. And that meeting changed my life. And I wrote a book, my first book in prose, which was called A Journey in Ladakh, which brought hundreds of thousands of people to the glory and power of Tibetan Buddhism. I spent 10 years deeply enmeshed in the cause for Tibet. I had the wonderful grace of getting to know intimately the Dalai Lama, and I was asked to co-write with Patrick Gaffney and Sogyal Rinpoche the Tibetan Book of Living and Dying, which, as many of you will know, reached millions of people with the essence of the Tibetan wisdom, both about living and the process of dying. I'm saying all of this because, for me, Ladakh is the place where my true life began. And it's been a spectacular grace and honor to be completing my first pilgrimage of sacred journeys here, because everyone who has come has had an experience that has lit up their whole lives. Ladakh is one of the last still intact holy cultures on the earth. It's fighting the inroads of modernism, but its spirit, this luminous, rugged mountain spirit, is still gloriously alive. One of the things that I would love to communicate to you is that if you are a true adventurer of the soul, there is no place I know on earth that would give you more if you decided to go on a pilgrimage into its depths. In a place like this, you will meet what we've met on this pilgrimage, the essence of the Tibetan tradition and revelation. You will meet a people who have been forged by that revelation for hundreds of years. You will meet a culture that is both very exalted and incredibly grounded. And your own spiritual practice will take a quantum leap. And your sense of what human beings are capable of will be irradiated, as mine has been now for 40 years, with joy and passion and compassion and hope. This pilgrimage that Sacred Journeys and I have crafted with the most intense care is really like no other pilgrimage in the world. And here we visited the first major temple of Ladakh in a place called Dixit. We stood in awe at the magnificent statue of the Buddha of Compassion that has been erected to bless the past and bless the world. I could go on and on about what we have received, but I just want to end what I have to say to you as this passionate invitation for you to come with me and let me show you the depth and the glory of this place by saying three things. If you come with me, if you take that holy risk, what I'll be able to introduce you to is the living reincarnation who is guiding Ladakh, my master reincarnated Tukse Rinpoche, and that will be a major event in your life, because he's not only a great teacher, he's somebody who is putting into practice compassion in very important projects such as a marvelous school that we visited, a dog sanctuary that we visited, and he has a vision so grounded that it will elate you. That's the first thing. The second thing is that we've sculpted this journey in such a way that there is time for you to rest in the majesty of Ladakh and feel it for yourself and integrate the teachings that I've been privileged to give in some of the holiest temples inside Ladakh. Imagine what that has been like for me, who loves this place so much, to be able to share the essential practices of the Tibetan tradition that I love and honor so much in the holiest temples. And the result, I think, for the whole group has been absolutely transforming. Not only will I give those teachings in places that are saturated with spiritual grandeur, but I will make sure that you have all the time you need to integrate them. The third thing is something vaster. We're living in the most challenging period of human history. We're living in a global dark night. And if you want to see a place that will inflame you with hope, stimulate your senses in a way you may never have had them inspired before, if you want to connect viscerally with the sublimest teachings I know on enlightenment to jumpstart your own spiritual practice, if you want, at this moment where so many people are in despair and paralysis, to connect with a living, vital world that gives tremendous hope for the human race, for all of us. If you want to have your own soul and heart inspired to put love into action in whatever way is natural to you, then come with me. I'll show you Ladakh, and your life will never be the same.